Hello everyone and welcome to another team preview. Today we're going to do the Houston Outlaws. I'm not going to yeehaw. I did yeehaw the first time I went through, but then people told me to shut up. So I'm not going to yeehaw. Take that, Houston. So let's talk about this roster because the Houston Outlaws have been one of those teams that have been disappointing throughout the history of their entire franchise, right? They've had times in which they've looked really good, but then struggled throughout the entirety of it. Last year in the playoffs was the first time that they had major success. Coming third, I'm pretty sure it was. Third in the Overwatch League, which is a great performance by them. They overcame a lot of expectations. But now we're expecting the Houston Outlaws to be better than they've ever been before because they have signed some of the most impactful players in the Overwatch League ever who are still playing at the top of their game. So they have kept, the only player that they've really kept is Pelican. Okay, so Pelican is, your 2021 Rookie of the Year when he was on the Atlanta Reign. He won in 2021, yeah. When he was on the Atlanta Reign. He is one of the best flex DPS players that we have around. He just is so aggressive. He is literally the antagonist, which is interesting because Fearless is the protagonist of the league. So it'll be interesting to see how those two are going to come together. But Pelican is being joined in the DPS lineup by Happy. Happy has been, since 2019, when he came into the league, has been one of the best hit scans around. He's just very solid. He isn't as flashy. He has his flashy moments, but he isn't as flashy as some other players, but everyone loves to have him. Last year, Happy had a disappointing performance on the Washington Justice, as with anybody who's ever played on the Washington Justice. Sorry, Arena. But he ended up getting moved over to the Gladiators, having some success with them, and everyone is excited to see him pair up with Pelican. There is some questions around Pelican and Happy of, is there going to be enough flexibility with only these two as the DPS lineup? Last year, Pelican said in an interview himself, actually, that he is not as comfortable on Tracer as he is on other heroes. That's why they did play towards some Genji when you really wouldn't have expected it. But Pelican, we've seen some of the scrims so far. His Tracer looks very good. Much improved, and it's going to need to be much improved if the Houston Outlaws are going to perform at the level we expect them to play at. Happy has some flexibility in him, but is definitely primarily a hit scan player. He leans on those Widowmakers, those Ashes, even some Hanzo. Those are really where he's at his best. So is Pelican and Happy going to be able to cover all of these different ones? If we go to a Tracer Sombra meta, if we go to a Tracer Echo meta, how is that going to play out for this team? We will have to wait and see. Now, going over to the tank role, they only have one tank. The man, the myth, the legend, Fearless, who just won the Grand Finals MVP in 2022, is the solo tank for this team. And this opens up a new challenge for Fearless because we know how great he is on all the heroes he's expected to play. He plays the Winston, he plays the Reinhardt, he even in 2021 played the Wrecking Ball, learnt it in record time, he plays the Doomfist. We've seen all of those looks from him, but he's always had Hanbin in his back pocket, especially in Overwatch 2, to play the off-tank heroes, like Sigma, like Xayah. So he's going to need to prove that he has the ability to be the solo tank for this team. It is worth noting that rumors are that Gargoyle, previously from the Florida Mayhem, might be joining this roster. So Gargoyle would fill that hole a little bit. He would come in to play those Sigma and off-tank heroes, but that has not been confirmed yet. So it's kind of hard to speak to that, but with the Pro-Am just around the corner, we thought we should talk about this team right now. Then, finally, to round out this roster, we have the backline. And the backline is just crazy. If you brought up this backline like last year, people would have lost their goddamn minds. And we still are 1 year later after both of these players having a pretty good year. Shu is probably the best flex support in a lot of people's eyes. He's just so mechanically gifted at what he does. His Baptiste, his Zenyatta, pretty much anything this man touches turns to gold. And he is expected to be the primary flex support player for this team. His partner in crime is going to be Violet from the San Francisco Shock, who has spent his entire career at the San Francisco Shock and is finally moving to a different team. Violet's a two-time champion from 2019 and 2020 season, having one of the best Zenyatas of all time. Violet doesn't like to play Ana, but has, funnily enough, added a bunch of main supports into his repertoire, as last year he was expected to play the Lucio, the Brig for that team. His Lucio is much improved from where it was in 2021 when it was a floor Lucio, but I'm more than happy to see Violet play that Lucio. Him playing Lucio got them second in the Overwatch League. He is definitely going to be able to hold it. But the most important thing, and we bring this up every team preview, is 2 support heroes will be released in the Overwatch League this season. One at the start of the season, one later in the season when we get to Season 6 of Overwatch. So, these are very mechanically gifted support players, and they have a lot of flexibility in their wheelhouse. Are these guys going to be able to sort of hold the mantle of what is expected of support players as we go throughout the year? I don't know. But on paper, this roster is incredible. There are 3 champion winners between them. 2 for Shu, 2 for Violet, 1 for Fearless. Pelican's a Rookie of the Year winner. Happy's been one of the best hit scans forever. Shu's just Shu. You know, a lot of people think he's been snubbed for MVP in the past. So this roster, just on paper, is incredible. And everyone expects this team to be at least top 3. But realistically, this is the first time that Houston Outlaws are a championship contender. Even with their roster last year, we expected them to be good, and they ended up being good. But even at that point, no one expected Houston to win. So I hope you don't hate Houston Outlaws fans, because Houston Outlaws fans are coming out of the wheelhouse. They've been sad. They've been depressed for so long. But I think we're going to start hearing more yeehaws coming out, because this team is stacked, especially when you look at their management and their coaching staff. Junkbuck has moved to director of competition, but he's done an interview with Yiska. He said, essentially, I'm going to be remaining the same role, almost. Like, he's going to be head coach-esque. He's going to be the tip of the spear and sort of managing everything. So as much as he's director of competition, he should still be involved in the team in the same way. They've promoted Neko to head coach, who's going to be sort of a prodigy to Junkbuck, and they're going to use both of their knowledge to do the best with this team. A lot of these players have respect for Neko. Neko has obviously played within the Overwatch League. And then Bishu is the still the manager of operations and coaching, so he's going to be around helping these guys out. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them add another coach. They might not. Maybe confident in themselves, confident in the players and their ability to self-coach. But that is the Outlaws roster right now. Absolutely stacked. I think top 3. It's like San Francisco Shock, Houston Outlaws, like an Atlanta Reign. That's sort of what people are feeling out right now of what the top 3 are going to be. But until the prom really kicks off, we won't really have a good gauge of it. So, yeehaw, I guess. Houston Outlaws are back, baby. Excited to see what they're going to be able to pull off. Make sure to let me know what you guys think of this Outlaws roster. Do you think they're the best team in the league right now? If not, who do you think can beat them? Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want more of these team previews, and I'll be doing VOD reviews of all the best matches as weeks go by throughout the season. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.